Hi. So today I'm going to show you guys how to solve um, multi-step word problems using bar models. Bar models are also called strip diagrams, so they basically mean the same thing. So let's go ahead and get started. This problem says Naomi has 29 biscuits. She gives Charlie 9 biscuits. She separates the rest of the biscuits among 5 people. How many biscuits does each person have? So the first thing that we should do is underline the question. Why should we underline the question? Because we have to make sure that we answer the question for this word problem. And the best way to do that is also to write a sentence stem that goes with the question. So our question says, how many biscuits does each person have? Well, a good sentence stem would be, each person has blank biscuits. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. The reason why it's always good to write a sentence stem that goes with the question is because it'll help you keep on track when you're solving the problem. Also, you can also even check to see if your answer is reasonable. Does it even fit or go with the sentence stem? So that's one of the reasons why writing a sentence stem for the question is good. So next, we need to make a list. And when I say make a list, that means we're just going to take out the information that we know or that the problem is giving us. So let's do this sentence by sentence. So the first sentence says, Naomi has 29 biscuits. Well, the information that we know is that she has 29 biscuits. So I would actually write that as part of my list. And if you want to make it shorter, you could just put Naomi has 29. But since we are talking about biscuits, I'm just going to go ahead and include that in our list. Okay. So let's go on to the next sentence. It says she gives Charlie 9 biscuits. So what information does the story give us in this second sentence? Well, it's telling us that she gives 9 biscuits, right? So we'll put on here gives 9 biscuits. So that's something else that we can put in our list. So the next sentence says she separates the rest of the biscuits among 5 people. So the information they're telling us is that she separates the rest with 5 people. Now, with your list, you can always put bullet points. That way, you know each what each item is that is in your list. Okay, so now we've taken out the information that the problem has given us. So let's just take a quick look at this information. Okay, so we know that Naomi has 9 biscuits. If that's how many biscuits she has, we know that that's going to be some type of total. So I'm just going to write a T for total. And then the next one that we see gives 9 biscuit. Well, what happens when you're giving something away, right? You're taking it away. So I know that this is going to have something to do with subtraction. So I'm just going to put a subtraction symbol right there. Now let's look at the last thing on our list. It says she separates the rest with 5 people. So if you're separating something, what are you doing with that? You're dividing it up. So I also know that in this problem, I'm going to be having some division to do. Okay. So now let's go ahead and get started with our bar model. So we know that she has 29 biscuits. We also made a note that that is a total. So I am going to draw a bar just like that. And at the top of it, I'm going to write 29 because that is going to be our total. Okay, so this bar is representing the total amount that Naomi has, which is 29. That's going to be the total amount. So now it also says that she's giving 9 biscuits away, which is also signifying subtraction because we made a note of that over here in our list. So I'm going to take a small piece of this bar and I am going to say that this represents 9, okay? That is the 9 that she's giving away. And you see, I did not put it on this side of the bar because we are taking away. So it has to be taken away from the total, okay? So now we're trying to see, we have a total and we have a part. So anytime we have that, we need to find what the missing part is. So if you have a total and a part and you're missing a part, that means that you need to subtract. So we can go ahead and subtract these two numbers. So when you set your subtraction problem up, now we can go ahead and solve it. We see that 9 ones taken away from 9 ones is 0. And 2 10s minus nothing is going to be 2. So we know that our missing part is 20 biscuits. So we know that this part is going to be 20 biscuits, right? So that is our missing part. So let's see, each person has 20 biscuits. That doesn't make any sense. Plus, look, we've only did 2 things on our list. If you need to, you can check those off. So we still have one more thing on our list that we have to do, okay? So now separate the rest with 5 people. Well, the rest is 20. So that means that we're gonna take that 20, now the 20 becomes our total, right? So let's go ahead and draw a bar model. And now our new total becomes 20 because we solved the first step to seeing how much she had left after she gave 9 away. And it says she separates the rest with 5 people. So that means we're gonna have to separate this into 5 units. And those 5 units represent the 5 people. So, but there's a problem with this bar model. We do not know how much each person has. We don't know because these units are representing the people, but we don't know how much they have. So when you have a bar model or a strip diagram that has a total and the number of units or the number of groups, that's going to also signify that you have to divide, which we already know that because we wrote down our division symbol over here in our list because it goes with the word separates. So we will have to do 20 divided by 5. So when we do 20 divided by 5, we should get 4. One way that I solved that is I actually used the inverse of division. And so what I did was, in my mind, I do mental math, but just in case you don't know mental math, you could say 5 times blank equals 20. And then you can just figure out what goes right here in the blank, and you could skip count by 5s to get that answer. So your answer should still be 4. So now we know that each person has 4 biscuits. So now let's go on to do one more word problem using bar models. So let's look at this next one. This next one says, Kim, Brenda, and Jack went bowling together. Kim's score was 55. Jack's score was exactly double Kim's. Brenda had 13 fewer points than Jack. What was Brenda's score? So again, we need to underline the question. What was Brenda's score? And we also need to make a sentence stem to go with the question. We can put Brenda's score was blank. Oh, I put Brenda's score, sorry, was blank. I wrote that backwards. Sorry about that. All right. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to make our list. So let's look at the information that we have. We know that we have Kim, Brenda, and Jack. So we know that we have 3 people. We know we have 3 people that went bowling. We also know, if we look at the second sentence, we know that Kim's score was 55. So I'll just put Kim has 55. And then let's look at our third sentence. Jack's score was exactly double Kim. So I'm going to write Jack, and I'm going to put double Kim's. And then the next sentence says Brenda had 13 fewer points. So I will write Brenda, and then I'll put 13 fewer than Jack. So now I have made my list, okay? So now let's go on to creating our bar model. So we have 3 different people. So that means we're gonna be doing a comparison bar model. A comparison bar model means that you're gonna have 3 different bars. Each person is gonna have their own bar or their own strip. So let's start with Kim. We know that Kim has 55. So I'm just going to draw 1 unit or 1 group, and that's going to be for Kim's score, which is 55. Now, if it's easier for you to write the numbers inside of the box, inside of the unit or the group, you can do that. So let's go to our next bar. Our next bar is Jack. So it says Jack double Kim's. So the word double means what? The double means times 2. That's what it means in math. Double means 2. So I know that double means times 2. So for Jack's bar, I'm going to have to actually have 2 units, right? Because it says times 2. So I will do 2 units for Jack. Now, how much are we going to put inside of each of these units for Jack? Well, it says it's exactly double Kim's. And as you can see, they're the same size, right? You can see that right there. They're the same size. So that means that this unit is going to be 55. And this time I'll write it inside. And this unit should be the same size as this one. So this unit will also be 55. So now we have 2 numbers inside of this bar. So what we can do is we can actually go ahead and solve for this. So this represents 55. You can do 55 times 2. Or if you're not good with multiplication, you can also do repeated addition, which means you would do 55 plus 55. Either way, you should still get your answer. So I'll do repeated addition for you on the video. 5 ones plus 5 ones is 10 ones. So you'll put your 0 and regroup or carry your 1. We have 110 plus 5 tens is 6 tens. 6 tens plus 5 tens is 11 tens. So we will put the 1 here. We don't have anywhere to regroup the 1, so we just automatically put it in the hundreds place. So we now know that Jack has 110 for his score. But are we finished? What does our sentence stem say? It says Brenda's score was blank, not Jack's score. So we're not finished. And if you look at our list, you can still see that we have one more thing to do. So now let's look over here at our list. Brenda has 13 fewer than Jack. Well, fewer means less. So if it's less, that means that you're going to have to subtract, right? So I'll put a little subtraction symbol right there. So now let's go ahead and make Brenda's bar or strip. So here's Brenda. I'm going to make her a strip or a bar. I'm going to make it the same size as Jack's, since that's who they're comparing her to. But it also says 13 fewer. So guess what that means? That means I'm going to have to, I'm going to take this much away. I'm going to take that much away from her bar, and I'm going to put a 13 right here at the bottom. Okay? So remember what I said earlier for the first problem. If you're taking away or subtracting, you need to make sure you take away from the inside of the bar. Do not add another bar on the outside or another unit. Make sure you're taking it away from the inside of the unit. Okay, so now if Brenda's bar is the same size as Jack's, that means that this total will be 110 for Brenda's bar. But we also see that we need to take 13 away. So remember what I told you earlier, if you have a total and a part and you're missing a part, what do you need to do? You have to subtract. So now we are going to subtract these two numbers. We're going to subtract 110 and 13. So from looking at the subtraction problem, it does look like we are going to have to do some regrouping, because we cannot take 3 ones away from 0 ones. So we are going to have to regroup. So we will add 10 to the ones, and then we will take a 10 away. We'll take 1 10 away, and that will become 0. Well, from looking at this, I can already tell we can't take 1 10s away from 0 10s, so we'll have to regroup again, right? So that means we'll add 10 to the tens place and then take this 1 away from the hundreds place. Now we can subtract our numbers. So we have 10 minus 3, which equals 7, and we have 10 minus 1, which equals 9. So now we can fill in our sentence stem, because now we are complete. Everything on our checklist has been checked off. So we can say Brenda's score was 97. And that is how you use bar models with multi-step word problems. Thank you for joining.